suspect!
Coming to get you, Bobber.
Wolfman's got Nards!
Scary Movie is a 2000 horror comedy directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans, and it stars Anna Faris, John Abrams and Marlon Wayans. Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. I thought before we get into the Scream franchise for the upcoming Scream movie, I thought it might be best to start with Scary Movie, since this is obviously a spoof of the Scream franchise. This is an older movie, so again there are going to be spoilers in this review. A year after disposing of the body of a man they accidentally killed, a group of dumb teenagers are stalked by a bumbling serial killer. This is of course a spoof. I think if you're going into this movie expecting it not to be a spoof, you're going to be very disappointed in the movie, whether you're watching it back in 2000 or you're watching it today. But it is one of those nostalgic style spoof movies, and I think even though it was back in 2000 this movie came out, we didn't really get anything like this for a long time. You had the Leslie Nielsen movies like Naked Gun, Spy Hard, Repossessed, all those types of movies that just kind of faded out. And even up until, I think it was 1998 or something like that, I think it was The Wrongfully Accused, starring Leslie Nielsen of course. And those movies kind of faded out and disappeared just along with Leslie Nielsen, unfortunately. So we'd kind of lost touch with all these spoof style movies until Scary Movie came out, because Scream was such a great franchise and a refresh of the horror franchise. I think bringing out Scary Movie, a spoof of Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, etc., was a refreshing change for the spoof genre. Something I really liked about this movie in particular is it took a lot of the lines word for word from Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, etc., and used them almost like they just didn't have a proper script themselves.
I was home watching The Exorcist, and it got me thinking about you.
I was home watching television. The Exorcist was on.
Now, the future Scary Movie movies didn't do that. They took their own lines, and I think that's why they failed. I think they spoofed these movies in Scary Movie 1 perfectly because they literally used word for word in a lot of the scenes. Scream is obviously the main purpose of this spoof, but you also have a big section of it of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Some of the better scenes in this movie are from I Know What You Did Last Summer, when they hit the man on the road. And one of the characters, Lachlan Monroe's character, they're talking, they says,
Oh my god, we hit a boat! Where's the foot?
just things like that, just little lines that shouldn't be funny are hilarious. I just love how they incorporate I Know What You Did Last Summer with Scream, when they've got a guy who they mysteriously killed, or they think they killed, a year ago, and then someone coming back and killing people, just like Scream. So you've got I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream put together. It's genius. The acting is so corny, but intentionally corny, because there's good actors in this movie. I think the acting style and the comedy spoof style just wouldn't work today, and I think that's one of the reasons why the Scary Movie movies decreased in quality as time went by, because nobody was accepting them anymore. It's the same with the spoof movies I mentioned back in the day with Leslie Nielsen. They were great for their time, but as time went by, people weren't accepting them, especially the jokes. You know, when I watch Scary Movie again, the jokes don't land anymore, and in fact, I think a lot of people would be offended by this movie today if it was made today. I wasn't offended by it, I'm not offended by much, but this movie just wouldn't work in today's society. Some of the people that stole the show for me were Anna Faris, John Abrams, Sean Wayans and Marlon Wayans, of course. Those four core characters. Lachlan Monroe was great, Shannon Elizabeth was great as well. I think everyone was great, but the four that stood out for me were John Abrams, Anna Faris and the two Wayans brothers. I think this is the first movie I saw Anna Faris in, and I thought she was naturally funny, she was naturally fantastic, and that proved to be the case, because any movie she was in after that that was a comedy, she was great. I love how the movie also chooses to go that meta route. You've got James Van Der Beek that comes in a window and says wrong set, and he comes into the Dawson's Creek music. That's how meta this movie was. So even though it was a spoof, it was very smart. We also get a killer that I just didn't know was going to be the killer until the very end of the movie. You've got Doofy, who's obviously a spoof of Dewey Riley, and this was quite funny. When I watched this movie, I thought Doofy was great, and then when I rewatched Scream, anytime I saw Dewey, I just couldn't help but think about Doofy when I was watching Scream. That's how much of an impact that Doofy had on me at the time and even today. At the end of the day guys, this movie wasn't ever going to win any Oscars of course, but it was a fun movie at the time. It was a massive movie at the time. It made big money at the box office, obviously thanks to the movies that it was spoofing, but it was big and successful. It spawned at least 4 sequels as well, so this was a great spoof. And when you're ranking spoof movies, which I'm not going to do because most of them are pure comedy, I think this ranks very high up in the spoof genre. That's how much I really like this movie. What are your thoughts on Scary Movie guys? You can even give me your thoughts on any of the Scary Movie movies because I'm not going to be doing a review for them all. So leave your comments down below, let me know what you think about this movie, and let me know what you think about the Scary Movie franchise as a whole. And as always guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.